This is DMG and welcome to 7D System, and in the series we're talking about how to actually play 7D System itself rather than other games. But of course everything we're talking about you can actually utilize in other games. This is just for vanilla 7D System. In this video we're going to talk about roles at the table. Now I'm talking about roles, not roles. Or roles. Okay, so there are three distinct roles that everyone's going to be involved with that's immediate at the table. Now there are additional roles and we're going to talk about those in the next video, but the three primary ones are writer, director, and player. So the writer is really the person who designs the setting and sets the scenes and creates narrative threads that everyone's going to follow. So if you want to know about narrative threads and that sort of thing, have a look at my series on storytelling in RPGs. So the writer is the one who basically comes up with the ideas. Now they don't necessarily need to be a separate person from what is traditionally called the game master or the dungeon master. It can be one and the same person, but I'm just breaking it out into specific roles so that you understand, that there are these defined roles within playing the game. So the director is the person who reveals the setting to the players, they expose the scenes to the players, and they implement the narrative threads that are outlined by the writer. They also control all the NPCs, they control the monsters, and all the other elements that the players don't have any kind of control over. They also adjudicate decisions and also decide on appropriateness of things that are being done by players in terms of inserting story elements or attempting to do various things in the game. So they decide whether the scope of what they're doing is fine within the settings or that have been set up by the writer. And of course then there's the players. So players are as important as the director because without players nothing's actually going to be happening. Now the players control the characters in the game, so each player has a character. They determine the actions of these characters and they determine parts of the story elements regarding these characters as well. So players are allowed to inject story elements into the game which allow the narrative to progress within the framework that's been set up by the writer and exposed by the director. And essentially they have to follow the rules that are laid out in the guidelines for the system so that they can play cooperatively with the other players. So rules are really there to create a cooperative atmosphere rather than a confrontational atmosphere. So separate from things like sports where there's actually rules as to how you can play against other players, these rules are for how you can play with other players. So when people start to have rules discussions and heated discussions, think about what is the consequence of this. If you're discussing rules that are going to positively affect your character, what does that mean to other people's characters? Does that mean someone else is going to lose out, or is it good for everyone? If you're arguing a point of order with the director, does this point of order help or does it hinder? If it hinders someone else, then just leave it out because obviously the director is changing things in order to help the party. But if it's something where there's clearly an issue and players can't cooperate because of this rule problem, that must be brought up. Now there are several additional roles beyond these three, and we're going to be talking about those in the next video, but briefly they are the chronicler, the cartographer, the doodler, the musician, the clerk, the roller, and the crafter, the host, the transporter, and the cook, and finally the lawyer and the spectator. All of these are important and we'll go into them in the next video. But if you like this video, click the like button and you can share it with your friends. And if you have any other ideas or anything you'd like to express, do that in the comments section below. If you'd like to support these videos, check out patreon.com/7dsystem, and there's the website 7dsystem.com and all the social medias, Facebook and Twitter /7dsystem. Enjoy the rest of your day.